Certainly was a big win, and it was one that it felt a little too close for comfort at times, but MOUZ really did start to stretch their legs right at the death, right? They started to consistently break down Movi, break that economy, and put themselves in a strong spot. And of course, they get to head to whichever side they choose on Inferno, which likely will be the CT side of things. So another opportunity to, just keep, like you said, capitalizing on that momentum, building your series, and trying to get this one done as quickly as possible, because they will, MOUZ, of course, be eyeing up that upper bracket semi-final, looking to face the winners of Apex over against Big on the B stream. The Movi are going to do everything they can to stop that happening, and what it is at the moment is a fast play towards top banana. We've seen this from them before plenty in the Challenger League playoffs. 2 nades deep into the sandbags, try and catch a pick, and then occupy top banana for a little while before deciding what to do next.
Apparently they're just going to move pretty quickly with this. Definitely the right decision with that double crossfire that's set up in towards mid, obviously leaving DeathZz alone. He's going to be playing for the retake, and considering the bomb's already been planted, all he can really do at this point is try to deal out some damage. And well, he was relatively successful with that nade. It actually even delayed the bomb plant for a few seconds. I didn't think it would do so. It allowed for MOUZ to get at least into position a bit quicker than they would have otherwise. The problem is now they're playing a B retake without a kit. That is not common.
Yeah, 5v5, retake, no kit, 1 pop flash to get them in. The smoke goes towards banana, but there's a lot of bodies inside of the site itself. They need some quick headshots here. DeathZz able to deliver at least 1, but the crossfires are still there, still established. torzsi doing what he can to rip them apart, but it's DeathZz dinked up early on his own. 2v0, DeathZz deals with him. And I think MOUZ just weren't expecting them to hit B that quickly, Dean, because they looked a little unprepared on the B site itself.
Yeah, I've got to wonder if that was some sort of anti-strat that was being thrown in, because maybe after looking at some previous games from Movistar, because it's not common to play a B retake setup without a defuse kit. Very strange, and yeah, kind of inevitable that they didn't manage to pull off that retake. Honestly, they got it relatively close, considering the 5-on-5 B retake is nigh on impossible, especially on pistols. This charge down mid is ballsy. There's 3 players already. They've got the backstab on 2 on banana. If they went any further, they might have actually exposed themselves to Sunpius in on ramp, so it was ideal that they didn't, but eventually he gets a couple. DeathZz and DeathZz are going to step up as well, and now it's a one-on-one with DeathZz hanging on to life on 19 health, and his position is known. Or at least relatively.
DeathZz seems aware, but not necessarily fully believing of it, right? Knows it was somewhere up B, but doesn't have much more than that. DeathZz, of course, can't afford to take any risks, so he'll stay tucked to the corner for now. We'll concede that plant over on the A site relatively freely. And then it becomes a question of how does he want to play this retake. 19 HP, there's guns aplenty on the floor here as that bomb goes down. DeathZz start to realise what's up. Going to grab himself that MP9, but again, low on HP. He really needs to get the drop on DeathZz here. Needs to isolate that fight. DeathZz is waiting for him, tucks himself into pit, makes himself as difficult a target as possible. There is a molly on DeathZz here, but he's going to try and cross sight without it. Molly, in fact, goes close sight itself, and low HP. DeathZz will be able to deal with it. DeathZz goes down, a valiant effort from MOUZ, but just a solid retake of mid for the Movistar Riders.
I mean, considering what they went into that round with, they've done a pretty good job. It's just unfortunate that they all kind of shifted their attention so quickly away from the ramp after taking that fight up banana. Only saw 2 players there. It's fairly reasonable to assume that someone might come back in from the ramp as well. But, yeah, either way, good damage, I suppose. They've got a few pistols here. If they can get another few kills, then they can at least put themselves in a really good position to potentially take the first gun round and then really have a chance to run with it. Oh, Zeus's. That's what I like to see on these buys on Inferno.
Certainly one of the maps where it's more viable. This is a nice contact play out. You're right, there's a nasty timing potentially of torzsi turns. He'll hear that flashbang, know what's going on, but now he's covered. DeathZz, whilst he's not covering specifically Boiler, has got bodies there. torzsi, though, will swing with the timing, will grab one, can't quite get out of dodge in time, though. And now that A site up for grabs, realistically. The apartment's aggression from DeathZz and Bemis has left it completely open. And to be completely honest with you, they don't seem very bothered by it. I think they think this was a wrap to B. As they take Mexico, take second mid, confirm all that is open, but the bomb's going to go down. Yeah, DeathZz retaking over towards B. They didn't quite get the read on that as good as they would have liked. And as a result, free bomb plant. It's an even 4-on-4, sure, but with just the P250s, an extra kill or two would be fantastic for this CT side in all honesty, but that's about all they're going to be expecting here. Waiting behind that mid-smoke, waiting to hopefully catch a timing as the weapons are shuffled away by this T side, tucked well into pit and mini pit respectively. Should just be a farm for these remaining kills. JDC, that's a lovely little dink onto DavidG, brings him down to 5 HP. Dexter on the drive-by grabs another, and DavidG spotted, dealt with. This is fantastic damage now by MOUZ Sports. Dexter's even got another. There's no time left on the clock, but they're going to take all of these rifles away before they go down, and that is a huge win for MOUZ Sports.
Yeah, not bad at all. On top of the damage from that previous round, it leaves Movistar again fully reinvesting with weaker weapons and in a position where they're just weak in general themselves. There's a chance for MOUZ to crack it open with just a single gun round here, and they have the advantage in it with the up and play with all of the nades they could ask for really as well, being at their request. So it's a good opportunity. MOUZ shown a lot of promise despite lacking the weapons in those early rounds. Sometimes it doesn't convert to the good rounds, but you'd imagine so that it will here. So I think Movistar are probably going to be feeling a little bit intimidated now, knowing that they're up against the full buy with how dangerous these last couple of rounds have been, even just against pistols.
It's felt viable. Retake in towards Bananas, called for, and that flash is lovely. mopoz fully blinded, frozen, gets him for free. Takes the dink through the wood and finds one of his own. Takes JDC down to 23. It's a lovely little opening set, though, from the Movistar Riders. They retake that banana control. Dexter wants it back, but two players here. This feels very risky. torzsi does manage to nab one over towards A, but Dexter again, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Good damage at least onto Alex. But it does leave JDC a little out in the lurch over on that B-bomb site, and it's going to force a rotation. torzsi starting to work his way around towards the arches, but just at the critical moment stops it, because Movi are heading back into A, and they're heading right back into the jaws of Bemis, although torzsi actually, he's not sure where to go. He's backing in and out of CT, not quite sure where to lock down, looks to just chance his hand at this A site, and that is going to be the right call here as the hit starts to come in. Bemis perfectly flashed into short, torzsi there to back him up, and that is a lovely little set on the A site from MOUZ as Alex on 11 HP in the 1v3. Should be relatively easy to dispatch of. torzsi turtling inside of the site. Bemis there to greet him. Will go down the AWPer, but Bemis tagged up, now playing around this pillar, giving his headshot angle potentially up to Alex. He knows he's running out of ammo, though, and that will eventually be his undoing. First round on the board for MOUZ, although a little more expensive than I think they would have liked in the end.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit scared there as well. The initial spam should have smoked on some damage, and then BMAS was just forced to hunker down on the bomb site, but he pulls off the kill. He allows MOUZ to take their opening round, and as long now as they don't drop this round to some pistols and some Kevlar, then they should have a chance to tie it up at 3-3. Surprisingly, even with this being the full investment from Movistar, they've actually gone 3 players without Kevlar so that they can get the full nades. So this has got to indicate some sort of full execute, of course, in mind. That nade, though, that should tag a couple of them. Not as much damage as I expected, though. Although I guess spread out, it's a decent amount.
You do have a little too much faith in the nades in CS, don't you? It's always a little less than you think it's going to be in CS.
10% of the time they do what you think they're going to do. So.
Curse of the nades. It's going to be a pop-out bracket, though, and that nade damage is good for Bemis. Grabs a second with the assist, and Dexter there to mop up on the refrag. Leaving Sunpius and Alex, although Sunpius on the P250 not done just yet. torzsi spots out the last man, can't quite nail the shot. Just needs to wait for the support lines to be ran, but he wants the kill instead. Swings wide on that AWP, starting to feel his way into this nicely as well as torzsi. As that full buy dispatched of, again, with some issues, but nothing of real significance, right? They lose one M4, Dexter on the MP9's pretty disposable. They get the round over the line, they keep the majority of their rifles, they keep that big green critically in the hands of torzsi. Perhaps even more critically, they boot Movistar Riders onto their first eco of Inferno.
Yeah, with a lot of the hard work for it being done in those early rounds when they didn't have much to work with at all, so has come back to allow them now a good opportunity. Nice work by Dexter. This time the mid aggression goes off rather with ease in comparison to how it went in that previous round. Very passive hold, though. They're just sitting there baiting
This
the
is
bomb.
nasty.
They're like, the bomb's here, guys. Come on. Come down, you'll see
This
it.
is so
And
nasty.
you can have it, I swear. Peace. We're going to have a bit of a standoff for a while here, it looks like.
I don't think MOUZ are going to push that at all.
They
got no reason to.
They have so much
They've
control
got all the
already.
control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're in the same thought process, Wolfie. One and the same.
Oh, some Pius has made a
Ruined
step as well. He's dropped.
Did they push it now? Or did they see that as bait to pull them in? I think that's what they have seen that as.
Wow, they've spotted at least a couple now. Bemis has seen something. Movi, I don't mind this at all. It's a very French thing to do when you're in these kind of complete ecos. You play incredibly slowly. You talk through your next rifle buy. Essentially use it as an extended tactical pause, knowing you're not really going to get anything done in it. I don't mind it. torzsi picks off one. Bemis spots out both. No need to overcommit here. Just make sure you chip away at them. And there we go. Lovely stuff. Leveling out 3 apiece. MOUZ keeping all 5 players up, and a nice little farm on Dexter as well. It's worth mentioning that, right? Charges down mid, gets a first, spins around for a second. You want that MP9 where possible to be farming you up some cash, getting you to a state where now, if torzsi goes down, potentially Dexter can even drop him that AWP across if required. So a nice little opening. We level out at 3 apiece, and well, this is where things really start to get interesting, Dean. Some Pius glass cannoning the AWP on the T side of Inferno, no less, as the rifles come out for the Movistar Riders.
Including the up on Sun Pius, importantly, but glass cannon is not ideal. Especially on a map like Inferno, where those nades can be tossed down into the choke points so easily. 1 damage on DeathZz, and he's limping along now. Screwed. We joke, but you never know. Could help in a fight against the MP9 or something. I've had a few cases where I do 99.
Everyone who ever plays CS has been there at least once. I'll be playing this slow, though. Only just starting to contest Banana after the early utility set from MOUZ. torzsi jump peeking it, wisely backs away, swings in with his own flashbang, can't quite connect the shot. Will allow this Banana control to start being established, and you have to imagine sooner or later there's going to be some kind of a rotation here. Dexter's just flashed himself into a mid-peak, spotted out nothing in particular, and this boost is going to be nasty. torzsi tries for the flick, doesn't land it whatsoever, and now the B site under siege. Frozen doing what he can, dives in for one, and that will tempt them into this retake. A nice little chip nade as well, takes DeathZz and mopoz tagged down. Frozen flashback into things, doesn't want the peak though. Smoke will keep him busy. DeathZz does find one. JDC charging on through is traded though. And now the rotate is so far away. Bemis, he was waiting for the lurk out A. It leaves Dexter completely solo in towards this B site. Bomb, meanwhile, is yet to transition out of dark. mopoz has got to get that done sooner rather than later, as Dexter, through the smoke, denies the bomb, doubles it on the MP9 before he goes down. And with 13 seconds left, some Pius is thrown into the clutch. He's got to get that plant, and he knows it. Bemis knows it as well. Some Pius taps once. Bemis doesn't fall for those tricks. 3 seconds left. He knows he can bail. He knows that bomb's not going down. And he knows that Dexter, courtesy of a moment of magic on the MP9, has won them that round.
Giving MOUZ just a really good opportunity now. It's getting a little bit closer in terms of some of the rounds. It's definitely not as convincing, I guess, as it looked like some of the early gun rounds were from MOUZ, but importantly, they are winning out the rounds, and well, we're seeing a bit of an investment in terms of some pistols around the up here, at least for Movistar. So they've got a decent amount, I suppose, to at least work with. This is definitely a sort of round you can still pull off, but you'd expect something maybe a little bit quicker from those Tech 9s with the up in the back lines to support. They have to wait it out, at least for the utility in the early stages before they moved up Banana, and well, despite a flash, it doesn't seem like they're in too much of a rush right here. Taking their time for sure. B does seem to be the goal.
I don't mind it. Bleed out some utility. You don't want to go too quickly when you're not expecting masses. You want to make sure that, you know, you do bleed out those Molotovs. That's the second now gone. Smoke follow up from the CT side. JDC, this is bold. Up against a kind of buy where you can be overran by a Tech 9 in an instant, playing close to the wood. Up on Banana. Smoke fades and he's isolated. He's alone here. Timing of this swing is really going to be everything at this point. They're trying to use JDC, just baited in lovely by torzsi, hits one, JDC swings wide for the double, Sumpire spotted, dealt with by the AWPer as well. And Alex last alive. Knows he wants a little more damage, swings the corner, but torzsi is there and waiting. That's a lovely little setup. I was worried for a second, but the two youngsters make it stick. MOUZ have their 5th, and they deal with the half-buy quite nicely indeed.
Getting to that stage again where Movistar do need to start actually grinding out some more rounds. Don't really necessarily need to start chaining them together, but it is still a position where just taking 2 really could do it for them, and then suddenly they're in the lead. So you can still kind of see their opportunity here to turn this into a great T-side if they can just pick it up at the moment. The 3-man stack anyway over towards B for the aggressive push down Banana. It looked like they were going to continue with that aggression, but now that BMAS has found themselves some success with the peek in towards second mid, I think they're happy enough just to keep the advantage. Slow down whatever the plan was for Movistar either way. And it seems like it's actually pushed them to try and move back and take this banana control, which they're still going to find 3 CTs at.
There's plenty of presence here. mopoz is tucked close left. If Frozen clears him, it's a free kill on timing. He's waiting for a flash, but Frozen not going to over push. Not going to push too far down. mopoz will be given a second chance at life here. Up close and personal. Frozen has got away with murder there as he backs off the angle. Half a dozen timings go his way to get him out of there alive. With 50 seconds left, he gets a second chance. He's not the only one either. torzsi's done the dance with the devil. Got away with a leg on that AWP down mid. Tag down to 31, but he keeps his life. And that's the critical thing here, as they're starting to set up over on B, Movistar. Few players queuing up. The utility entirely expended on these 2 B defenders now. It's going to be up to the rifles of JDC and Frozen to get it done. There's nobody even really playing speed, where the fastest rotation is Dexter, and he's a long way from home as mopoz opens up. Frozen does well on the boost to get one, drops down and spams DeathZz down desperately low. No utility to really punish that just yet, though, so it's going to be a 4-on-3 retake with a few players tagged up now. Definitely one that Movi could hold on to. If Sumpires finds an early pick here, that would be massive. Top first, misses his shot, down to single digits as well. A bullet from Death now. Sumpires as he posts Banana, but he's got Dexter. And that's a huge pick because everyone else is tagged up. Alex deals with one, Beamer's traded away, and it's torzsi the AWPer with 2 players. A whisper from Death, but he's nowhere near. There's nothing he can do. Movi have pulled off the miracle round. They're the walking wounded, but they've managed to hobble into the B site. And a critical 4th round goes their way as torzsi just picks off one on the retreat.
I mean, Coffins is a fitting call-out considering how it went around that area from MOUZ in that round. As we bring it back to just one between them. As I had mentioned also, it only really takes a couple rounds to fully break down the economy of MOUZ. They'd only had enough really for one full investment in the reserve, as we can see. They have a little bit left over on some of the players, but 1900 loss bonus, it wouldn't allow them a full buy on everyone if they were to lose this round. So there's a chance for Movistar to take a 5-5, potentially have one eco then to go against and take a bit of a lead for themselves, and at that stage have at least a pretty decent T-side already. Again though, the banana control. JDC seemed happy enough to run through his friendly molly and take a ton of damage for it as well. Will he be cleared out? And yeah, he will, but unfortunately for
that CT volley!
he was blinded himself, and it nearly backfired. So I think he ran through his own molly initially, and now his teammate nearly burns him alive to finish him off. What the hell?
That was an interesting set play down Banana, shall we say, but they get away with it, MOUZ, and that's all they're really going to care about. JDC on 15 HP gets out of dodge. Big opening onto mopoz as well. That was just a slight miscommunication, and I think Frozen's just whiffed the angle of that molly a little bit. Regardless, they've got away with it. They'll be laughing about it in the demo review yet later today, I'm sure. Now Movi, 2-2 split at the moment, looking to group up towards this A site once again, and it's a nice setup to counter this from MOUZ. Dexter out towards long, he'll be smoked away, can potentially rotate if he wants, spam through if he feels it. Hit mini pit setup for the 2 remaining A defenders, Bemis Mini torzsi stays scoped in towards short. DeathZz is thinking about the timing of this. He's thinking about pushing through that smoke. And if he does, there's bodies. They're looking the wrong way. Some players can't react in time. And now it's into the meat grinder they go. beamus and DeathZz a kill apiece. torzsi, torn between two angles, will go down. But it's beamus continuing to get work done. DeathZz swings in for one more, and that is a lovely set again for MOUZ. These holds in towards the sites are looking very, very clinical. As Movi understandably take their first timeout, because if torzsi's not flicking between two angles there, he probably gets the kill on short as well, and it's probably even cleaner than it ended up being.
I don't think they can really buy here, though. It's likely going to have to be one eco, even with this pause coming in. It might prove me wrong. They might go for something crazy. They can get a couple of rifles, a couple of AKs at least, maybe some Galils then as well alongside it. So they might decide to go for it just to keep the pressure on, but even then it would be risky for sure. So it seems like the half buy is what they want to go for. Spend the excess cash, hopefully get a few kills, maybe a bomb plant if possible, and come back alive in this following round. But MOUZ on paper anyway should be taking a 7-4 lead. And a reminder, they're of course up by a map, as you can see there, with a little yellow box beside their name. They did manage to take a pretty convincing win back on Ancient.
Convincing in the end. Took its time to get there. Fast banana to be taken. Nice little chip nade onto Alex and DeathZz, but it is the conceding of that opening control. torzsi was boosted there and some bias. Of course, the AWPer is wise to it. Just spotted him as he went up towards banana to join the rest of the team, but it looks like a much quicker hit in towards the B site this time from the T side. Exchange of Molotovs to buy a few more precious seconds allows DeathZz actually to make the rotation in, and he's got a nice belt of utility on him as well. Extra molly potentially to go out because they're just going straight through this. JDC through the smoke gets one. The flashes, they're good, but not good enough. Fully automatic rifles against semi-automatic pistols. It just doesn't quite pan out for you. DeathZz, yes, he's tagged low, but his teammates on the site are doing all the work anyway, and DeathZz, nothing he can do from inside of pool. Lovely stuff again. DeathZz reading this one nicely at the moment. He's calling the rotations well. The utility again is excellent for MOUZ to deal with that half buy. And like you said, Dean, it feels like Movi, they need to start having some impact with the rifles because they're not chipping away at that CT economy enough at the moment.
No, that's something they were at least starting to do, as I had mentioned, despite the initial rounds of MOUZ being really one-sided. After that, Movi were at least keeping the damage on consistently and having that ability to break them down. Now again, there's that full buy built up to damage. Oh, torzsi takes a dink as well. I'm not sure exactly how he got dinked. It must have been actually through his teammate. At least one kill is going to be pulled back by beamus in towards the apps, but still the damage slightly favouring Movistar right now. Not by a massive enough amount, I suppose, to make a real difference, but we'll have to see. There's still a ton of time. Movistar don't really need to rush into this. They can wait out the utility and then try and move in for some map control, which really could be anywhere at this point, considering they've left the bomb pretty much back in spawn.
Could be, but at the moment, MOUZ are making the right call. They've trusted Frozen solo in banana. Just jump peeking the angle, trying to get some info. Might have even spotted that bomb on transfer, although it doesn't look like he did. 3 players stacked up in towards this A site. JDC tucking himself into an off angle. There's nobody to flash him in, or is there? That flash so good, but he goes too early. Brings DeathZz down to a shot from death, but he pulls the spray just a bullet too soon, rushing to get the second kill. Can't quite provide it, and now Frozen in need of a huge round here. They're going to push on up, and all the peak. The timing is disgusting. Frozen with 3. DeathZz, yes, he gets the kill over on A, but that's the bomb down. Bottom of banana with 25 seconds left on the clock. Frozen, 8 HP, the hero of the hour. And with just 20 seconds, when this bomb is recovered, I think there's only really one site that can be hit. It's going to be Frozen tested again. DeathZz on full HP. Makes you think maybe this is just a little more viable. Frozen with a decision to make. Looks to deny potentially on the cross here. He spotted it. 4 seconds. If he swings wide now, it's job done. And there it is. That is a monstrous B hold from Frozen to buy MOUZ Sports an 8th.
Yeah, what a round. What a couple rounds, I suppose. Actually, he was at the bottom of the scoreboard just 2 rounds ago, I believe, down on 5. Managed to do a good job holding off the weaker buy when they pushed in towards B as well. And obviously tremendous job just there. Now MOUZ leading 8-4. Movistar again back on the half investment as they just kind of ping pong back and forth between the boys and the Tech 9s, and it's just not giving them as many chances as they'd want to be able to keep to get themselves back into this. They're not able to get the bomb down consistently early, from what I can recall. Now as they're really beginning to snatch back that control that we've seen them have at one point on Ancient as well.
I'm still not over that banana play from Frozen, man. The intelligence. Knowing that he'll be expected to drop tail, drop the smoke and run. The wherewithal to peek back in, and then the spray hits 3. Little moments of magic. It's like we said, you've either got to have that consistency or you've got to have the magic players, and Frozen, well, he certainly fits into the latter category. Bracket control, meanwhile, to be taken by this half-buy. torzsi posted long. Could get pressurized quite well here with a handful of pistols available. torzsi's actually going to go back in. He catches the first with his back turn, but that leaves him desperately vulnerable, and a fully blind Alex will deal with him. The spam through the smoke not quite connecting. JDC at least there to stabilize things. They want that AWP, but they're not having any of it on the MOUZ side of things as Bemis goes into the apartments, goes looking towards short and grabs another. Some Pius on the recovered AWP, a Tech 9 for DeathZz, the A site, their intended target. All that information gathered as Bemis swings wide, spots out both. Knows exactly what to call. Dexter now there to back him up. The flash not quite right. Bemis, a free kill, and some Pius, well, he wants some damage here. He wants to grab a kill or two. Baited into the first shot. He won't connect. And now with 15 seconds, there's only one thing in that AWPer's mind, and it is Jame time. That AWP going to head as far away from the A site as possible.
I mean, considering the round it is, MOUZ could probably willingly hunt it. They also have pretty good money on pretty much everyone who's left standing anyway. But obviously the time was pretty low. They didn't initially want to overextend and give him any kills on that op, so he was allowed to escape. Decent save. It'll fund their buy here, but if they don't manage to make this one work, then obviously they're buying the next round. While it will be there for a few of the players, unless they get a bomb plant, Sun Pius and DeathZz would be looking at a little bit of a weaker investment. So this is the better of the two chances that they have right now to try and extend on this T side.
Needs to start working as well. They're already building themselves a nice little mountain to climb. Dexter again. Swinging behind that smoke. We've seen him punished for it once. Very nearly a second time. Drops down to 48. Seems to be when they want to take that banana control initially. When they want to post 3B, they feel like they need something going mid as well. So Dexter does like to throw nades. Spam down. Works out well for them here, though, as they do allow themselves the rotation by posting torzsi on the half wall. You can go for these heavier, more aggressive stacks up towards A, and for the time being, at least, that looks exactly where Movistar Riders are trying to head. Smoke towards long, utility to come out to clear their way again into the bracket with a minute left on the clock, and until they flush torzsi off that half wall angle, this hit is very choreographed.
As you can tell from the positioning, although there's still time for them to fall back down mid and up banana if they want to. The bomb looked like it was maybe considering it as mopoz started to make his way towards banana, but it looks like instead the split is the goal.
CT wrap.
Yeah, I like this. Frozen's going to be the one they deal with in the spawn though, and he's been on point these past couple of rounds. Already has 2 of them. Doesn't even manage to take any damage in the process. He just locks down Arch, and well, that's forcing the bomb back around up banana in the one route of access that they have left, and unfortunately, they seem to have a lurker as well. DeathZz is over in the apartments, and considering they're already massively outnumbered, that is not ideal. A little bit of a boost, though, for the op to try and find the open, and torzsi flicks up, and I think his Sun Pius is unmentionable.
5 seconds left. It doesn't even matter if they get this kill. It's round either way. Frozen knows it. They deal with the AWPer, sure, but now after time, they're going to be hunted. Dexter spamming away, won't quite find the shot. Double digits on the board for MOUZ, and like you said, Frozen just on a tear at the minute. That's a gorgeous hold of the Archers. Right as they were looking for that wrap, and it felt like a really strong play as well, with 3 players tucked into the A site for MOUZ. It left torzsi covering CT and banana as well if they just dealt with Frozen. That would have been the perfect call from the Movistar Riders, but no. He stands firm again. You shall not pass. And in the last round of the half, it is a buy, but it's slim pickings again for the Movistar Riders. Utility limited. DeathZz tagged down to 16 HP on the initial contact. Make that 5 as the nades rain in over the top. That must have been a leg from torzsi. And with mopoz tagged to half HP as well, this is a fantastic opening set again for MOUZ Sports.
Just as Movistar want to actually start taking that control, a fresh set of nades come down banana. New smoke holding them off again for another few seconds, just making sure everything that they try and work for is massively delayed and massively punished as well. Running low on utility of their own right now. Counter peek from Frozen. That is wild. Honestly, the balls you need to do that, and it works out perfectly. Again, though, they'd replenished the smoke, so it's just solid teamwork alongside these ballsy plays that is paying off for them. Nice shot by torzsi. Never mind. Looked like it was going to land. I was playing a pretty tight angle.
Quite. mopoz is close to Frozen here, and that makes you a little nervous when he's jump peeking like this. He's called them back as well. For exactly that reason. On 28 HP, he's close. Frozen now under pressure, needs to find this kill, and on 1 HP, mopoz will deal with him. Opens up the B site on a timing. Smoke towards CT will lock JDC out. He'll head round to Coffins instead. As they look to cross, the spam from Dexter not quite connecting, but low HP bars for JDC to try and exploit, and he's got 2. As much as DeathZz deals with Dexter in towards CT, it's JDC still alive and kicking on those coffins, making a nuisance of himself. DeathZz on 5 HP will switch to the AWP. Looks to peek into CT itself. The flash is good, but doesn't quite catch the AWPer. Even 2-on-2 now, but those HP bars start to become an issue. JDC spots both. Brings DeathZz down to 38. Bemis' position is known, and DeathZz hits the headshot. 10-5 at the half. Movi looking for the recovery after the break. MOUZ with a strong lead at the end of that first half. 10-5 up as they head to the T side of Inferno. An opportunity to put this one to bed nice and swiftly. 2-0 fashion on the cards. If they can get this T side pistol right, they would be well on their way to it. But Movi are not going to go down quietly here. 2 smokes, a flash. The Julies raid bossed again, this time towards top of Banana. They are looking for a fight.
They might find it. Unfortunately, it's without any sort of backup now after, of course, his teammate falls on the corner. Sunpius is going to have to go huge. Only 2 players at least pushing forward for now. Will call in for support once again, but it's a struggle. That is not how we've seen those dual Berettas being used lately. We've seen them have a lot of success, especially in the pistol rounds, and well, that wasn't it, homie. Davey, though, drops the smoke. The hope at this point probably just to stay alive because he is being rushed down. Not really in an ideal position, but they've had to overlook him. His teammate moving in from Moto has taken all of the attention. Unfortunately, it does cost DeathZz life, and DeathZz isn't able to capitalize on the distraction either. It's all on mopoz. Had a chance maybe to catch one player off guard right there, but he doesn't land, and now it's 3-on-1, working his way up through this choke point of short. His chances should be slim, but he's already got one.
Looking for the ace clutch here is mopoz charging down the site, but Bemis will put him down. Slight whiff with the Julies, like you said, from Sunpius, just not quite able to find the connection. mopoz did 4 and found a nice double top B. Off the back of it, they knew exactly where the stack was, charging out of the apps, and from there, just dismantling the hold before it could really get anything going. It's going to be the force buy from the Movistar Riders regardless. And DeathZz, well, he's bringing out the classic. The Mag 7 is in the server. 2 Deagles, a P250, and a FAMAS in support of it. And as always, he's going to take that right to the half wall on Banana and see if he can't just chip away at a couple players. The flashes are good. Frozen rounds the corner in style. Alex, whilst he will find one, is traded away swiftly. That's a nice opening set again for MOUZ. They take top Banana. They get the man advantage. Dexter is left to lurk, and they don't have to commit by any means at this point. He can just draw utility. Maybe even draw rotations. The smoke towards CT was attempted to be blocked by mopoz. Went for the headbutt, couldn't quite land it. Now you can see that's drawn the rotation almost in its entirety over towards the B site. But MOUZ, they don't look like they even want a pro bracket. They don't even look like they want to have a crack at A. So they are going to walk right into this stack. It's going to make things very interesting indeed. Utility to go out first. And here comes the hit. Everyone is home for the Movistar Riders. FAMAS and a couple of pistols to try and hold this one down. The flashes are fantastic. They blinded everyone up, but they're still into the site regardless. mopoz, one shot from Death, will go down to Dexter. DeathZz grabs one, a second on the P250 as he tries to keep his team's hopes alive. Flirting with the edge of that smoke, and he's got Dexter dead to rights as well. It's torzsi thrown into a 1v2. That should never have happened. Sumpire's fast on the rotate, but I don't think he'll get there in time. That bomb at the very least should go down. And torzsi will have to clutch this one up.
Yeah, not even at full health himself. Will at least have the chance for the initial 1v1 here before the second player rotates over. And as he deals with Sunpius cleanly, he shouldn't have too much trouble. But then again, looking at DeathZz, he's already got 3 kills for himself. He's been having a great round, so I'm not going to count them out. Could land one straight up headshot with that P250 and it would be enough. torzsi's fallen all the way back in towards mid though.
He's got no idea. He's got no idea where he's coming from, so he's got to play it so cautiously here.
You can presume there's no kit as well, to be fair.
And that caution's going to pay off as well. DeathZz inside of the site itself burns a ton of time clearing a few angles, and torzsi, he'll just retreat into the apps. He'll hear DeathZz on the escape. He'll go down to the bomb as well. It's close, but they get it over the line regardless.
I like how even the body was just kind of like the way it was staged. The leg had just made it over the line into mid, just to tease him. Know what he was close to getting, which was an extra exit frag. It's always nice to add it to the stats. Either way, no one surviving in that round for Movistar. Only one standing though in the end for MOUZ, considering they had a lot more to lose. They're the ones who are going to be a little bit worried about that, but they have a chance to make up for it if they can ensure that this round's relatively clean. There's 4 nades here on the CT side. I was going to say I'm curious as to where they put them in, but the initial run boost meant that they lost one of them before putting it down. And although they will get 1 kill out of the combined nade damage alongside the pistols, the rest of the players are relatively healthy, at least enough so to deal with a USP and a P2000.
He's looking for the curse of the caster here, but it's not quite landing at the moment. Sumpire's on 31.
See how far I can go.
Yeah. It's a nice bait and switch this, with DeathZz inside of the site. If he can pull the attention, Sumpire swings, maybe a dink. MOUZ seem to be walking into these stacks more often than not at the moment, you have to say, as they start to creep their way up short. Molly into the pit should give the game away, and Sumpire's yet to be cleared in the graveyard. His teammate's gone now, however, and he will find one. Beavers finally puts him down, but again, it's not bad damage, right? That was near enough a full eco, and they found 2 kills off the back of it. The problem is, they're 8 rounds down, so the damage really needs to be converted on now. They've got themselves that half chance. They've kept the economy honest for MOUZ. Now, Movistar Riders, they need to start converting, putting the pressure back on this T side, because so far, it's just been too smooth, to be very honest. 3 rounds on the trot, no real resistance. That torzsi 1v2 about as close as it got. Let's see what they can do with the rifles here as they look to contest Banana, at least initially through mopoz.
Yeah, they're not really going aggressive with it though, just putting down some nades. No shots even really being fired off initially. That nade in return though done some pretty good damage onto Alex, at least long enough to take him off the corner for that initial fight to come in. And well, with the damage already done, it lets Frozen also find the successful trade as he moves through. So they've got full Banana control. They weren't really ready for a commitment off it since they don't have the bomb, and they also have 2 players elsewhere working A on the default. But they've managed to at least restrict all info around this side of the map right now for Movistar. They forced DeathZz obviously to rotate over. He's wasted out a few nades already, I believe, as well, putting down a smoke that he's kind of working as a one-way. And in the meantime, they still don't even know where exactly the commitment's going to come in. That's a bit of an issue, though. JDC takes that peek in on mid quite a bit before the rest of his team are actually ready to push forward.
Gives them a little bit of something to work with on that CT side as well. DeathZz needed that kill on the balcony, can't quite find it, and Pius missing the shot onto Bemus through the mini wall. He will get it, but torzsi immediately there for the trade. And at this point, DeathZz, he scrambled over to that B site expecting a fast play. Now he's going to have to save there instead. I thought you were right, Dean. I thought that panic molly followed by the smoke and the flash would have given MOUZ the idea that they only had one there and he was very rapidly rotating in, but happy to slow it down, happy to hit that A site regardless and finding the connection. 14 on the board, and that was the golden opportunity, right? With the economy broken, well, not broken, but breakable. It was feeling fragile for MOUZ. Now they get through it, they keep 2 players up. They build themselves just a smidge more bank. More importantly still, they build that lead, 9 rounds to the good. And Movi have a decision to make here. If they buy, it's not going to be pretty. If they don't, they're going to be looking for overtime. And that's just to take it to a third map. Do you really want to run that risk, or do you send it now? And it looks like the call has been made to send it.
It's understandable. I mean, it's one of those calls, like, sometimes you can look at a situation and be like, yeah, they shouldn't buy here. But when you're this far gone, you need to take risks. You can't just play the safe game. So it's always pretty much impossible to judge the decision as to whether to buy or not if you're trying to avoid giving away the overtime, or giving away map point rather. So yeah, the buy, it's not too bad. Rifle wise, they have a couple of M4s, an AK of course saved over, and FAMAS and an MP9, so it could be a lot worse. It could get a lot worse if they lose this one, and then it's pretty much over. So let's see what they've got in store for us. Again, the early presence at least being shown over towards Banana, but it's just a few shots fired. They haven't got the nades to keep those smokes down constantly and to actually hold them off. Instead, waiting for presence, drop the flash through, molly on tree as well, and at this point they'll probably just have to concede the fight for Banana. They can't really afford to do so.
Yep. Almost like you wrote it into existence, dude. You concede. They want a flash back in.
Expect this.
Is going to go for it. There's a lot of bodies here, though, and as much as he dinks up torzsi, sure, it's Dexter who gets the kill.
It wasn't in the script, mopoz. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah,
I didn't
you've
write
got to
it
listen
according
to the
to
script,
Wolfie's
bro.
words. You know, there's 2 people in chat that actually believe that as well.
He tried to ad-lib it. Not going to land, and now they want to double back towards bracket. They want to take that control. There is a heaving gap in that smoke from JDC, though, and Pius is ready to exploit it. JDC almost catches the timing to get across the gap. torzsi through the smoke finds the kill instead, and now with 2 players held over towards B, it's on to DeathZz. Alone in that one-way, and Bemus, oh my goodness, he's read that. Knew exactly where to pre-aim, clean tap, headshot taken, save called. That is it again for the Movistar Riders. MOUZ. Well, Dexter seems to have the script. He seems to be writing it alongside you, Dean, because this is just looking too good to be true for them. They know exactly what's coming before it even comes. They know exactly where to shoot before the heads are there. And at 15-5 up, a 10-round lead, 4 players alive. I would expect more of a hunt here, if I'm being perfectly honest, but MOUZ don't seem bothered.
We've just seen very little hunting in general. There's been so many saves throughout this series, and I can't really recall many times that the weapons were hunted down aggressively. Maybe there's a lurker already in position that ends up catching the player or whatever, but I haven't seen many situations where 2 players go save on a bomb site like this and they're actually hunted down, which, as you said, is surprising here because MOUZ could definitely afford to do so considering the circumstances. I know their economy isn't really flourishing, but it's good enough to have justified trying to take those weapons away because it would have really limited Movistar here. But either way, we're getting into what could be the final round. 10 in a row for Movistar in order to get it to an overtime. They then need to win it in the overtime and take us on towards Vertigo if they want to get themselves back into this series. As we mentioned before, though, this is still the upper bracket. It's only the opening game, so it won't be the end of the road for Movistar, but they'll have a tougher time, of course, trying to work their way back through that lower bracket.
Not the end of the road, but you're certainly taking a detour. Aggression into the apps this time is the call. I like it as well. Trying to pile the pressure on. Beamer solo in that corner of the map for now. Rosen is toying with this swing as well. He looks to line up. mopoz can't quite connect the headshot, but they're going to go off the back of it, or are they? Throw the utility like they are. Bait out another smoke, a flash from this CT side that was already running so slim on utility. Even I thought they were just going to pop straight into that B site there, but they double back. Reset the plans, and that causes some real dilemmas now for this CT side over towards B. They're almost out of utility. They've got one Molotov left on mopoz. He's actually, just as I say that, picked up a smoke and a flash that was on the floor in towards CT, so it's nice enough, but it's going to be the B-pop. They time it a little later than I thought, but Dexter gets him regardless. Free kill for the first. Frozen trades his death well, and now DeathZz has got to do the same and more. Bomb going down. JDC caught on the timing. DeathZz gets two, almost the third, but he can't quite rein the spray in. Both of these players now out towards Banana, but there's no smoke. Nothing to stop them from holding this bomb as the defuse is tapped. And that could well prove critical. Some Pius throws in his HE. It doesn't do enough. One will tap, one will stick. DeathZz will stick. The timing on this is going to be everything. Some Pius gets one, but it's going to be the defuse regardless. torzsi takes everyone out of the server, but Movi have bought themselves a lifeline.
That was crazy. I mean, he nearly got the whole spin around onto the third player, even on Banana right there. So great work from DeathZz. He's really the one that keeps them alive. They needed a desperate play. He gave it a go, and it worked out. But it's still 9 more rounds that they need for it to really count if they want to pull it into the overtime. So there's a long way to go, and you can't really rely on that every single round. So you'd see things falling into place a little bit more comfortably, ideally anyway. Money, not bad on a couple players, but if Movistar win this, there should at least be quite a few weaker weapons if they were to force the issue with a buy in this next round on the MOUZ side of things.
The problem for Movi is, again, because they lost all 5 players, this buy still isn't good. MP9, Mag 7. Trying to contest Banana with everything they've got, and they have managed to push MOUZ back a couple of times now. Taking more damage than they've dished out is going to be the issue later on. Costing them a good bit of utility as well. You can see MOUZ are still keen to contest this. Hot flash over the top. There's a 3-man setup here for the CT side. There is plenty of bodies to deal with this. Frozen's found the first of them. Finds the second as well. DeathZz asked so much of him in the previous. This time he gets nothing. The B site is overran. Some Pius and DeathZz are planning their rotations, but they're a long way from home. They know there was a lurker as well. Bemis is still there, still probing out of Boiler, making sure some Pius on that AWP cannot rotate anytime soon. And DeathZz, as much as some Pius finds the pick onto Bemis, he's stuck behind a deep CT smoke with a Mag 7 in his hands. He spots out torzsi top first. But it really is all in the hands of this AWPer, because you can't ask anything of DeathZz in this situation. He's trying to jump through the smokes. He's found for free. Some Pius, he'll get torzsi top of first oranges, but there's 3 more to be found. That bomb already halfway ticked. He needs a peek from somebody, and MOUZ are just not going to give it to him. Dexter only just starting to shoulder this angle, and job done. 16-6. It will be MOUZ who take themselves the clean 2-0, and that is a victory that will give them a lot of confidence, right? We spoke about how coming off the back of that RMR, they would have been gutted. They want to be dispatching these kind of teams easily, and that's exactly what they've done. A massive performance on Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno